What's up, Digidestins? This is Kyle D, better known as RideMyAvatar, and this day we have not one, but two videos to talk about. But we're going to talk about Japanese today, the Japanese format, especially since they just got Bt-19, and some decks are just coming out of the fray. And hopefully these convert over to being actually really strong, powerful decks that when we get that half, we kind of get the good half, and then we're all set. But that's just my personal take. We'll have to see what actually happens. I don't see much getting split up between everything. And once we get that 2.0, we're going to be in a weird spot. But it's good to see where we're going to go, okay? So without further ado, let's dive in the video and talk about it. So first off, let's take a look at, this is Digimon CG Guide. If you guys need to look it up online. And boom, you'll be able to see what Japanese decks are topping. Blue Flare took 3 slots. Beelzemon took 3. 2 Nightmons, well, Dark Nightmon. 2 D-Reapers, 1 Crossheart, 1 Lucimon, 1 Millenniumon, 1 Pulse, Purple Hybrid, 7th Grade Demon Lords. You know the drill here. Not many complete diversity yet. I'm going to wait and probably just cut it off here at the Crossheart and just talk about the first 5 decks, and then we'll go into next week. If there's a deck you really want to cover, let me know. I will cover it next week in my video. But we're gonna just take a look at where decks are evolving. First off, who would have thought we would see the damn day that Crossheart basically said screw Crosshearting? There's only one card in this deck that literally says, I will Crossheart. And you know what it is? It's Shoutmon Durulu Cannon. That's it. The rest is already pieces that are brand new. So they're utilizing Leopardmon X and Leopardmon to be able to play their level 5s down to be able to set up as well. Or, you know, their level 4s are great targets, and so is the Starmon. So, well, Starmon's not a target. Sorry. I saw yellow and my brain went bleh. But if it's a green target, really solid. But you have Tribumon Ace that'll help you play the other part of your deck, right? Right. So taking a look at the new pieces here. First off is the Pikmon by placing 1 card with Crossheart or Blue Flare traits from your hand under any of your tamers, draw a card. Really just a beneficial skill. You know, Shoutmon's going to search the top 3 of your deck. Shoutmon Durulu Cannon is a new promo that is getting released now. So when attacking, one of your opponent's Digimon gets minus 2000 DP for the turn. Then by placing 1 Digimon with Crossheart traits in this Digimon's Digivolutions under one of your tamers, delete one of their Digimon with 3000 DP or less. So any champion is basically negged to where you need it to. And then, you know, it's not bad. Durulu Cannon's really solid for a Crossheart piece, especially if you can give it early stages of rush. Always solid. Then you have like Starmons. I don't even think I saw regular Starmons. No. So let's take this fucking card out. I'm stupid. But you have Ballistamon that gives blocker. We already knew that. But on play, this Digimon may Digivolve into Alter Ballista under any of your tamers without paying the cost. So basically the goal is to get your altered forms, the evolved forms of Ballista, Durulu under a tamer because of their on-play skills, and use like their corresponding tamer to play them for a reduced cost. And then boom, you get them to Digivolve for free. And then you're set up to go into Leopardmon X very easily. But then you have like Shooting Starmon. Basically all turns when any of your Crossheart trait Digimon are played, one of your opponent's Digimon gains security attack -1 and gets minus 3000 DP for the turn. And then on deletion, you may place 1 Crossheart or Blue Flare traits from your hand or trash under any of your tamers. It's not a bad card. Shooting Starmon is very useful at the end of the day. There's nothing you're going to be cross-hearting with it. It just comes down. I think this is where it comes in with Meteor Rock Soul. Activate one of the effects below. You may play 1 Crossheart trait Digimon with 4000 DP or less from under any of your tamers without paying this cost. By suspending 1 Shoutmon ×6 and 1 Shooting Star, one of your Digimon may attack a player. You're actually just going to be playing that 4000 DP or less. But at the end of the day, you look at this, you have Alter Ballista on play when Digivolving one of your opponent's One of your Digimon can't be returned to the hand or deck by your opponent's effects and gets plus 3000 DP until the end of opponent's turn. And then basically it's just a blocker inheritable, but you have Jagger-Dorlumon. So on play, when Digivolving, suspend one of your opponent's Digimon, then one of their Digimon can't activate when Digivolving effects and doesn't unsuspend until the end of their turn. So all in all, piercing skill as well for Leopardmon and Cherubimon Ace. Really solid, actually. That's very good skills that you can have. And again, you have like the Taiki that's going to set your memory to 3. I mean, yeah, the deck has all its pieces here, and it's just very interesting to see that they went with Darulu Cannon as the option. Then we have D-Reaper doing things. We had 2 tops with D-Reaper, and this is one of them that I wanted to cover. It only really got 2 new cards, and they are playing Shotos here. But if you know, you know. The combination between Tai and Mother makes it so Mother can get big enough that it gets over any of the raid shenanigans, as long as they're not like 24 or 20 plus, as long as you're ready for it. But the fact that you do have access to Jerry ADR01, so on play, for each Digivolution card of one of your Mother D-Reapers, one of your opponent's Digimon gets minus 1000 DP for the turn. So this makes it so it becomes extremely easy for Mother now to block and do favorable trades now, because this thing's going to come out and then main place this Digimon as a bottom Digivolution of one of your Mother D-Reapers without ADR Jerry in his Digivolution. So this thing's always going to keep, basically, if your opponent is trying to keep you away from you, this thing's always going to come out and make your opponent have a bad day. So this thing's going to plop in, plop out, plop in, plop out, plop in, plop out, plop in, plop out. You know, it's going to get in there for damage. It's only 2000 DP, but because of how Mother works, she gives it a DP boost. And as long as this Jerry is just swinging in and getting a security left and right, and then you get to tuck her in, she's just going to be a threat that your opponent always has to deal with because of for each of their Digivolution sources. If Mother has 5, that's minus 5000 DP to your big boy, and that's not favorable for your deck. So, you know, opponent's turn, when any of your opponent's Digimon attacks, you may play 1 ADR Jerry from this Digivolution's card without paying its cost. If you played, you may change the attack target to the Digimon played by this effect. So you can switch it to B Jerry if they are going to raid into your Mother and make it smaller. I mean, the only problem is that minusing DP is not going to be enough to slow it down, but it is an option. And then you have Jerry, fake Jerry here. She's not a mem setter or anything like that, but on play, reveal the top 4 cards of your deck, add 1 card with D-Reaper trait among them to your hand, return the rest to the bottom. By returning this tamer to the bottom of the deck, you may play 1 Digimon with D-Reaper trait and a play cost 3 or less from your hand without paying its cost. For each Digivolution of one of your Mother D-Reapers, add 1 to the maximum play cost you may play with this effect. So being able to, you know, play something with a play cost 3 or less without paying its cost, Jerry fixes a little bit of that Psychmon issue that a lot of players deal with early on, especially if they are playing against Mother D-Reaper. They usually had Psychmon ready to go, so this now fixes that issue a little bit as well, alleviates the stress. So fake Jerry is being released now because it's October, so it's good to talk about that. So make sure you get your copies if you want to play Mother D-Reaper in a future set. Then you have Dark Nightmon, well, Lord Nightmon actually. So this deck is really interesting. So taking a look, I know there's also a promo we need to grab because that one comes out as well. This one's a little further down. Here we go, down the hole we go. Doopy 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 doop. Yeah, they're also playing this. But if we get to that promo, Minimon. So Minimon here, and they have male Bergermon in the list. But the new Minimon on deletion, if you have a black tamer, draw a card. This is basically what black needed for the longest time, is a simple draw a fucking card. And they finally got it. Minimon is their answers, hopes, and prayers. But you have Minitamamon that gives reboot, but also on deletion, reveal the top 3 cards of your deck. Among them, add 1 Nightmon in its text and 1 Twilight trait in its text to hand, and then place 1 such card under any of your tamers, return the rest to the bottom of the deck. So At the end of the day, you have Minamon and Minatamamon. Just basically you can get early aggression with them, and because you're going to be hard playing your Dark Knightmons for the cross effects, that's going to help you as well. So on play, when Digivolving, de-Digivolve one of your opponent's Digimon. If you're Digicrossing with 2 cards, you may delete 1 Digimon or Tamer with a play cost 3 or less. On deletion, you may play 1 level 4 or lower card with Knightmon in its text under any of your Tamers without paying its cost. So this really helps out because you want to be able to delete the Tamers, the 3 play costs. So that really does help out. You have like Shadramon as an option as well, because it's going to reveal the top 3 cards of your deck, and you're trying to add 1 card with Twilight in it. And then on deletion, you may play 1 Nene from your trash without paying the cost, and then it gets the save. It digicrosses for 2 with a Nene, so it's not a bad trade-off, right? Then you have this Nene that's a mem setter, but all turns when any of your combos or Twilight trait Digimon will digicross requirements would be played. By spending this Tamer, you may place 1 card from under any of your Tamers and 1 card from your trash as those digicross requirements. Not bad. Nene fixes a little bit of the issues with cross art as well. I know we have, you know, Kiriha and Nene doing something similar, but this lets you do kind of a mixture of both, which is really solid. And as you can tell, they are playing like Lord Knightmon Ace that alterns all Digimon with as much or less DP as this Digimon gains collision. And then when Digivolving, you may play 1 level 5 or lower Digimon with Knightmon in its text from your hand or trash without paying its cost. And then you have like Lord Knightmon itself. On play, when Digivolving, you may play 1 level 4 or lower Digimon from your trash without paying its cost, which is basically you're just playing your Dark Knightmons. And then opponent's turn, when any of your opponent's Digimon attacks, you may change the attack target to 1 of your Digimon with Royal Knights in its traits. So since these 3 have Royal Knights, they're all going to do something. And then you have, you know, Lord Knightmon X Antibody has collision, piercing, and when Digivolving, de-Digivolve 1 of your opponent's Digimon for each of your Digimon. Then 1 of your opponent's Digimon can't Digivolve until the end of a turn. Giving a soft lock like that is really powerful. And what really makes it hard for some decks, especially in the Imperialdramon matchup, is being able to prevent them from Digivolving is massive. And then all turns, if Lord Knightmon or X Antibody's Digivolution cards, all your Digimon with Knightmon in its text gains Alliance and plus 3000 DP. This is crazy, by the way. Giving Alliance to your Digimon for free is just ridiculous. Now you don't have to do what, you know, Darugamon does, and, you know, I know the taunting is what makes the deck really good, but now that your Lord Knightmon X can do that, this deck just does so much. And then you have the like male Bergermon all turns when another of 1 of your Digimon with Knights in its text would leave the battle area by an opponent's effects. By placing this Digimon as a bound Digivolution, it does not leave. So basically, if your opponent's going to bounce something, male Bergermon's going to help. So it's funny, it's like these 2 new promos come out this month. Make sure you get it. Like, this is the month where you gain all the crap you need ready for your next event. Then we have Beelzemon. Beelzemon's doing some shenanigans as well. Let's take a look. You know, Beelzemon got some new cards. The Impmon's really good for both versions of the Dragon, you know, Heavy Metal and Beelzemon. Just because on play, if you have 1 or fewer Tamers, you may play a purple Tamer card with a play cost 4 or less from your trash without paying its cost. Not a bad trade-off, and it gives retaliation. I could definitely see this card splashing into other just purple decks that want to have Tamers. You have then Beelzemon that's on play when Digivolving. Trash the top 2 cards of your deck. Then this Digimon gains blocker until the end opponent's turn. And then all turns, when this effect trashes from your deck, delete 1 of your opponent's level 5 or lowers. You know, that's not bad. Taking a look, it's a very stock list. You know, a few new cards here and there. I mean, even the option we'll talk about, I'll have to get it. But they even tack in the Beelzemon Blast Mode Ace. Purple's first level 7 Ace. And it's really good. On play, when Digivolving, delete 1 of your opponent's level 6 or lower Digimon. If you have 10 or more cards in your trash, delete 1 of their Digimon instead. And then when attacking, by returning 10 non-DGA cards from your trash to the top of your deck, trash your opponent's top security stack. Free security removal is always powerful, and Beelzemon Ace is just really solid. And then you have Ayamako, start of your main phase. If your opponent has a Digimon, gain 1 memory main. If you have 20 or more cards in trash, by suspending this tamer, one of your Digimons may Digivolve into BLzmon from hand or trash for a Digivolution cost 4, ignoring its requirements. Being able to skip evolve is always annoying for a lot of players, and it's really solid to have. And then you do have the option Bond of True Love, you know, where he gets the blaster. So main, trash the top 2 cards of the deck, then place this card in the battle area. If you do not have a Digimon delay, you may play one Itmon from your trash without paying its cost. So this is basically a modified version of the shuffle. I mean, this thing basically makes sure you have the Itmon on the board, which is what you kind of want to have, right? So this is what you're kind of going to get. I think this is really solid to see where the deck is going. And then we have Blue Flare. Blue Flare, really, I underestimated. I was not a huge fan of its new line of support, but this is starting to rub me the right way, as they say. This is exactly kind of what the deck wanted as another way of playing in a certain strategy. So Blue Flare is definitely going to be a probably big contender coming into this format. So let's take a look. We have Gussamon. So on play, when on deletion, place one Blue Flare trait Digimon card from your hand under any of your tamers, draw a card. So it is a common. So it's going to get you some value, right? Right. Then you have Greymon here. So it's got Rush, and on deletion, if you have one or less tamers, you may play one Kiriha from your hand without paying its cost, then save, which is really nice because this now makes it so this Greymon can swing in, get that damage in, and then boom, if it gets deleted, you get to play Kiriha from your hand, and then you get to save it underneath, which solves a little bit of the deck's issues as well. Then you have like Male Birdmon that's blocker and does the same thing. You may place one Digimon card with Blue Flare traits from your trash under any of your tamers, then save. So this one will help feel the other Kiriha, get you pieces back, which is the main issue of this deck, is if they can just remove everything to the bottom, you're screwed. But this deck also got a Metal Greymon. And by the way, just giving you a heads up, none of this is above a rare. None of this support is a super rare. So basically, this is going to be the most budgetist shit to ever hit the field, because this is a common, that's going to be your pre-release stamp hunt. This is a common, this is a pre-release stamp hunt, this is a pre-release stamp hunt, and this is just a regular ulti. So this is the only high rarity card you're going to be hunting, is its max rarity version, and then basically the rest of the deck is dirt fucking cheap. They really made budget friendly deck. But you have Metal Greymon here that is material save. On play, this Digimon gains Rush. We kind of knew this was going to come. When attacking, Digivolve one of your opponent's Digimon, then this Digimon may Digivolve into a Digimon with Blue Flare traits from under any of your tamers without paying its cost. So this now sets up your Blue Flare boy, and that's really good. You know, when attacking, this isn't once per turn too. So if you can unsuspend, get 2 attacks in, so you'll swing in with Metal Greymon. If you have the Male Birdmon that unsuspends, if they have 2 Digimon, you can de-Digivolve again, and then basically use the evolve effect to unsuspend, get that extra attack in again. And I love that they went restrictive. You have to play Blue Greymons. Well, okay, we will. End of attack, you may play one level 4 or lower Digimon with Blue Flare traits from under any of your tamers without paying its cost. So basically what you're going to do with that is take advantage of this Greymon's Rush ability to swing in for extra damage. So in all honesty, you could almost deal 3 to 4 damage just by this evolution line's own skills. And being able to Digivolve too. So you have like Z Greymon here. So on play, when Digivolving, de-Digivolve 2 of your opponent's Digimon. Then you may, if your opponent has 2 or more Digimon, return 1 level 4 or lower Digimon to the hand. And then on deletion, you may play 1 Blue Flare or Crossheart trait Digimon card with a play cost 5 or less under any of your tamers without paying its cost, then save. So all turns, Digimon gets plus 2000 DP. So what's really interesting about Zeeg, by the way, is that basically what their goal is they don't care if this Digimon gets deleted now. They're basically going to get that Greymon out and make your opponent have a fucking shit show to deal with. So if you can get like 2 of these Greymons under, and then you just do your normal cross shenanigans, go into this, while there's a Zeeg underneath, you do your normal cross shenanigans, swing once, swing twice if they have 2 Digimon, Digivolve into this Zeeg here, swing again, this inheritable will play the Greymon down. You swing in, take out something. This will then basically, if this gets deleted, you basically get to save it, and then you get another Greymon. We're leading into such an aggressive play strat that your opponent might not be able to answer all this, because shit's going to come out for free, and your opponent's going to just hate it. But you also have Kireha, that's just base starter main phase. By placing one Digimon with Blue Flare or Cross Heart trait from your hand under any of your tamers, gain a memory. So this at least gains you some memory, which sometimes is your struggling points. But all turns when any of your Blue Flare trait Digimon with Cross Heart requirements would be played. By spending this tamer, you may also place cards under your tamers for those cards Digi-Cross requirements. All in all, very cheap budget upgrade, and I'm excited for it because that means I don't have to hunt crazily just to have a solidly good deck, and I'll play Blue Flare if I have to. Goal is to play Lord Nightmon, but with the ratios being shitty as fuck, I don't think I'm going to be able to get everything I need in time, so we might just go Blue Flare for the events that I need to play in, and then boom, bada bing, bada boom, we'll be ready. So guys, what did you think of all the new decks that we've talked about so far? There's plenty more to talk about. We have Lucemon, that's most likely going to be what you're going to be playing from the get-go. That's going to be coming out from the start. So it's good to see where they're going with it, right? But guys, what do you think of this video? Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. Stay safe, stay healthy, and I'll catch you next one. Peace.